What's going on, YouTube? So, we got aliens, I think. Maybe. I don't really know. So I woke up this morning, and like most red-blooded Yankee Doodles, hopped on social media. First thing I did, right? And trending on Twitter, it's the main Twitter. Wait a minute, scratch that. I mean the X or X. No one's gonna call it that. It's gonna be Twitter forever. But whatever. And aliens was trending. Aliens, UFOs. I'm like, what did I miss? What did I miss? I jumped out of bed, and apparently there's this hearing, I guess, on the Hill with like witnesses, and that same guy, I don't know his name by heart, you'll see it in the video here in a moment, who did that interview disclosure about aliens and UFOs. He's there on this hearing, and it's supposed to be like a big deal. So long story short, I got up, I was like, I still gotta go to the gym, gotta maintain my gains, whatever. And I was like, you know what? Normally I just listen to music or just some sort of interesting YouTube or podcast or something long enough to keep me, you know, engaged, I guess you would say. But I was like, you know, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna put this on and I'm gonna have this playing in the background. To be honest, it's kind of an L. At least that's the way I took it. It was kind of an L. Like, just show us the aliens. Show me the aliens. Actually, don't show me the aliens. I always say that. Don't show me the aliens. Show us the aliens, and like while I'm in a safe location, okay? You know what I mean? But like, nothing. It was basically exactly what has always happened ever. Anytime this stuff comes up, it's always like, we got aliens. Show it to us. I can't. I'll show it to somebody else. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I don't know. So basically all I did was, this is what I always do. I just go to Twitter. I pulled some of the clips, some of the things that I remembered. I'm not going to go through this whole 3-hour hearing and like timestamp stuff and try to pull it out. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got to. Short synopsis here. They didn't really tell us much of anything. This guy who did the interview before, like a few months ago, people who follow this stuff know what I'm talking about. He said the same stuff. He reiterated the same stuff, but there were certain points where he just kept, well, some of the representatives actually would ask him questions. He's like, I can't say it because, you know, those 3-letter agencies might come for my neck. And to be honest, I get that. I totally get that. I mean, it makes sense. Let's be real here. But there was other parts where it's like, bro, just answer the question. Just come on, just be upfront with us. Like, we don't care. Like, I don't think if this is true, I want it to be true because it's interesting. Like, give us something to do. Like, we don't care. Like, if this is boring, give us something to do. You know what I mean? But I don't think let's say they are true. I don't think they really realize that nobody cares. Like, nobody, we don't care. We don't care. No, as long as like it's nothing crazy happening, even if it is something crazy happening, we don't really care. Little green guy with no clothes on, we don't care. So anyway, I got a few clips here. I'm gonna run through them, give some of my thoughts on them, I guess, and let's just see what happens. But as far as I could tell, I was working out and listening. It was kind of an L. It was kind of an L, but let's see. So what is this one? What is this clip? This was let me minimize this again so I can see what in the world this was. It says former U.S. intelligence officer David Grush, that's the guy's name, claims under oath that aliens exist and that the U.S. government is in possession of UFO and non-human bodies. I hope that's true. Why not? Give us something to do, bro. All right, let's see what this is about.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Biologics.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
If you believe...
Okay, to be honest, her asking that question, non-biological, is a dumb question. I'm gonna be upfront. I guess she wanted him to come out and say it, but you don't call another person, another human being, a non-biological, or what the hell does that mean? But anyway, like, that's just dumb. I think that was a dumb question. Or maybe she's like 4D chessing it here just to get him to come out and say it. But if this guy is legit and that's true, that's kind of big news. But I've heard this before. We've all heard this before. We've heard it from this guy. So it's like, okay, we heard that already, bro. But I guess the significance is because he's on the Hill saying it. I guess. Whatever. Anyway, so moving along, let's see what else we got here. Oh, we're gonna go back to that one. That was a little insane. All right, so this one says the same guy, David Grush, confirms under oath that U.S. government is in possession of UFO spacecrafts, and he knows their exact locations. Let's go. See, this is where they at. But watch what he said. I guarantee you. Watch this. Watch this.
You have also said some of these answers in the past, but we're trying to get them on the public record as well, which is really important. Mr. Grush, finally, do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And where?
I know the exact locations, and those locations were provided to the Inspector General, and some of which to the intelligence committees. I actually had the people with the firsthand knowledge provide a protected disclosure to the Inspector General.
Thank you. And sometimes.
Okay, so okay, that makes sense. If it's like to get it on public record, I get that. But even him saying that under oath, I know people, yeah, under oath, it's a big deal, I guess, but people be lying. You know, people be lying. Like, come on, man. Like, stop playing. You know what I mean? Just answer the question. Where they at? Where? A 3-letter agency after you? They after everybody. Like, come on, bro. You on national TV, time to shine. Everybody watching. Where they at? He won't answer. Like, come on, man. I mean, I guess it's big news if you just now getting into this or heard about this stuff, but for me, it's like, all right, man, I gotta go do another set. You know what I mean? Like whatever, bro. All right, so what's the next video? The next one here is same guy, David Grush, is confirmed under oath. This is the same title. And the U.S. government has physical. Oh, whoa. Former U.S. intelligence agent David Grush has confirmed under oath that the UFOs and the U.S. government have physically injured multiple colleagues of his. All right, so this could be why he's a little like, you know. Well, it is, but let's see. All right.
At one point, you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured, and the activity. And I gotta, by UAPs or by people within the federal government? Both.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment, but at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed, myself and my wife, was very disturbing.
Okay.
All right, so if that is true, that's big news. I mean, they out here fighting. I mean, I've heard stories about that before, like, or they out here injuring people, or who knows, but clearly, like, shots have been fired or whatever, for whatever reason, but, and they clearly gonna shoot back. I mean, who wouldn't shoot back, right? However, one, I get it, again, 3-letter agency, so he's a little sketched out, and he brings up his wife. I don't know who his wife is. Why is she there? What's going on? Did him and they were on a hiking trip, and then this guy who used to work at a government agency, knowing about UFOs and all this, him and his wife just happened to see a UFO as well. Just seems like I mean, I don't really believe in like some coincidences. Like some coincidences, like, all right, something's up. You know what I mean? But seems kind of odd. But who knows? I don't know. But watching this clip reminds me of something that did irritate me during this. It's freaking butthead over here. You know what I'm talking about? This guy, Matt Gaetz. I don't think I pulled this clip, but there's a portion of it where he's like interrogating the guys on the panel. He's asking them questions, and they give the same answer. Well, the Grush guy gives the same answer, saying that he can't disclose this for whatever reason, right? And then Matt Gaetz is like, well, after the hearing meeting, we can go behind closed doors and you can give me this information. Let me tell you something. That got me so annoyed, bro. Because like, and that wasn't the first time they said that. It's like, we doing a public hearing. They work for the public, but they want to go behind closed doors and talk about all the stuff that we want to know. You know, this is stuff that we want to know, right? So what was the point? And then on a bigger note, you mean to tell me Butthead knows this, but we can't know? Imagine the aliens being real, or any of this being real, and then the people they interact with is freaking Matt Gaetz. Or like, come on, man. I don't know. Ugh. Gross. All right, so what's the next video here? What is this one? Ooh. Actually, okay, this is something that annoyed me too, but let's just check it out. I don't know what this title is. It says UFO hearing Republican Andy Orglis, or just whatever. Is any indication that these UAPs are interested in our nuclear technology capabilities? Okay, this is a bit of a longer one. I'm gonna let it roll, trying not to interrupt it, but let's see.
So when we think about traditional adversaries and both us towards them and them towards us, we probe their capabilities. We look for weaknesses.
Already talking about probing. I'm sorry.
Collect that data, that reconnaissance for in the event we need it in the future. For each of you, yes or no question, based off of your own experience or the data that you've been privy to, is there any indication that these UAPs could be essentially collecting reconnaissance information? Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Mr. Grush?
Fair assessment, yeah.
Mr. Fravor?
Very possible.
Again, in the national security vein, is it possible that these UAPs would be probing our capabilities? Yes or no, Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Grush?
Yes.
Fravor?
Definitely.
Is it possible that these UAPs are testing for vulnerabilities in our current systems?
Yes.
Yes.
Possible.
Do you feel, based off of your experience and the information that you've been privy to, that these UAPs provide an existential threat to the national security of the United States? Mr. Graves?
Potentially.
Yes, sir, potentially.
Same answer, potentially.
Yeah, I'd say
Fravor.
definitely, potentially.
Mr. Graves and Fravor, in the event that your encounters had become hostile, would you have had the capability to defend yourself, your crew, your aircraft?
Absolutely not.
Sir?
No.
Is based off of the information that you've been privy to, is there any indication that these UAPs are interested in our nuclear technology and capabilities?
Yes.
By external observation, sure, that could be a fair assessment, yeah.
Yes.
Is there any indication that the Department of Energy is involved in UAP data collection and housing?
I don't have an answer.
I can't confirm or deny that in a public setting.
And could you do it in a secure setting?
Yes.
Mr. Fravor?
No, I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'm the last member to go, but there clearly is a threat to the national security of the United States of America. As members of Congress, we have a responsibility to maintain oversight and be aware of these activities so that, if appropriate, we take action. I would encourage the chairman to demand that we have any and all, but in particular Mr. Grush, talk to us in a skiff. And if that access is denied, I will personally volunteer to initiate the Holman Rule against any personnel or any program or any agency that denies access to Congress. Mr. Chairman, with that, I will yield the remainder of my time to my fellow colleague from Tennessee, Mr. Burchett.
Okay, that was actually kind of hard to get through. What did you guys just hear? I know what I just heard. This one irritated me. This one irritated me because I heard two things there. Okay, first of all, yes, it's important. National security is important. Protecting the nukes is important. I get it. On face value, it's a valid point. It's a valid point, valid argument to make, to get clarification on this or whatever. But to me, I hear this and I hear, oh boy, here we go. Right? Here we go. They've already stopped calling them UFOs and now it's UAPs and they're hovering over our nuclear facilities. Everyone has heard that, but they're looking at it as if it's terrestrial. You get me? Like, that's what I just heard. Like, this guy, Mr. Orgels, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But he's the kind of person, that question rose me the way that he's looking towards, like, the military industrial complex. You get me? Like, are they interested in our nuclear weapons and our defense capabilities? It's like, it seems innocent, but to me, and then the next question he goes to was it like energy? The energy sector, they might be having these UAPs and they might be storing them and doing research on them. Like, come on, man. It's always follow the money and the military. Like, they all go hand in hand. That question or line of questioning kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't think that was as innocent as it may have come off to somebody who I guess is just oblivious to how the U.S. is run, or how these things go. But Cap, I don't like what he was asking. I don't think his reasons were innocent for asking those questions. Like, he wasn't thinking about national security and all this. Like, nah, that's BS. That's total BS. Anyway, last video I think was this one here. This was a little weird, but whatever. They're all kind of weird. Let's see. Let's get into this one. All right, cool.
That being said, you have mentioned that there's interdimensional potential. Could you expound on that?
Yeah, to answer your first question, and I'm here as a fact witness and expert, but I will give you a theoretical framework, at least to work off, to kind of espouse crashes, regardless of your level of sentience, right? Planes crash, cars crash, n number of sorties, however high, a small percentage are going to end in mission failure, if you will, as we say in the Air Force. And then in terms of multidimensionality, that kind of thing, the framework that I'm familiar with, for example, is something called the holographic principle. It derives itself from general relativity and quantum mechanics, and that is, if you want to imagine a 3D object such as yourself casting a shadow onto a 2D surface, that's the holographic principle. So you can be projected, quasi-projected from higher dimensional space to lower dimensional. It's a scientific trope that you can actually cross, literally, as far as I understand, but there's probably guys with PhDs that we could probably argue about that.
But you have not seen any documentation that that's what's occurring.
Only a theoretical framework discussion. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so honestly, that one has the craziest title. Who wrote that? I don't know. Whatever. But honestly, that one is probably the one I believe the most, to be honest. People, like humans for generations, always talk about like astral projection, different dimensions, this, that, and other. You take certain drugs, you see different dimensions, and maybe there are creatures or entities that exist in these dimensions. Honestly, like, I don't think that's too far-fetched. Like, there have been too many people in too many instances where these sorts of things and thoughts have come up in human history for me to say 100% that that's impossible. You know what I mean? Like, I have a hard time thinking that coincidences are only just coincidences. Like, things are happening too regularly. I'm starting to see a pattern here. There's some pattern recognition going on here that I think honestly some people are lacking when it comes to pattern recognition. Like, that's not a coincidence. Like, come on. Like, if that's a coincidence, coincidences are happening way too often. But anyway, I do believe that. Do I believe in like the whole alien thing, the grays thing, whatever, any type of entities? Honestly, why not? Why not? Show us the aliens. And by us, again, I mean them. I just want to see them later. Like, let's release the aliens. Like, come on. Even if it's fake, how you know how to make that? Anyway, all right, I'm going on. But yeah, like, I just don't think that anybody cares. I don't think the general population cares to the point where it's like anyone would be freaked out. Like, something, if they're real, something else is going on that to the point that they're still hiding these things from the general population. But like, no one cares, bro. Just do it. Anyway, I think this is a perfect example of at least how I feel about this. So I saw this image, and I think most people, honestly, I think they think like this. It's like, how many times have we seen like that classic image of an alien or the little gray guy, butt naked for whatever reason? Ain't got no clothes on. But anyway, right? Nobody cares. Like, if you saw one, you might be a little bit like, that's weird. But like, I don't think most people are like freaking out or whatever. Like, nah, they got their own stuff going on. I don't really care. I've seen you before. I've seen you. Why you ain't got no clothes on? What you got going on? I don't know, man. You know what? I'm out. I'm out. Whatever.
Creep on in, on in, on in.